welcome back to the channel. My name's Adil and today we've got something a little bit different for you. Today is all about the current car collection. Today is all about the current car collection, and it's a very rare moment that we get all the cars together all in one place. Otherwise, normally they're all out and about doing different bits and pieces. So today I'm going to be walking you through. I'm going to be starting with the classic Mercedes and then making my way over to the Abarth in order of what we have lined up here. So obviously, as you can see, it's an incredibly proud moment for me to be showcasing this collection to you guys. However, I do want to talk to you quickly about the collection first. These cars are an investment into our company, and I reinvest a hell of a lot back into the business because you've got everything from cool little hire cars like the Abarth all the way up to demo cars like the massive investment we've just done into the Range Rover demo as well. And then you've got a couple of collectors which have been in my family since brand new, which we'll go through in a bit, which is the classic Mercedes. So all of them have a little bit of a story. Today is a little bit of a vlog style. I'm going to be basically going through what each car kind of means to me, what each car has done for the company, and also where we're going to be going in the future as well. So join me, it's going to be a really cool video. I'm going to start off with the classic Merc. Let's go. So let's roll it all the way back to 1986, where this car started its life. So on my mum's side, this is my mum's father's car originally, and basically he bought this car brand spanking new from Germany. So when he arrived in the UK, he actually had connections with Mercedes-Benz in Pakistan, and he liaised with Mercedes-Benz in Pakistan to liaise with Germany to arrange the car to be spec'd exactly how he wanted. And probably one of my favorite things about the car is the fact it actually only has one wing mirror, a really quirky thing. And what I've done to this car, and what we'll do is we'll pop up a couple of pictures of how I picked a car up back in, many years ago. I picked up the car from my granddad in this condition, and we'll pop up a couple of pictures because yeah, it's been an absolute journey. This car looks absolutely incredible at the moment. There's still a long way to go though, but I just want to show you something really quickly. So inside the car, what I have here, so this is actually the service history of the car. So this car actually did feature on our channel a long time ago in one of the vlogs we did a while ago, and it's come a long way since then. It's had a little bit more work done, so it went over to a restoration company, and I actually learned a lot about, I've never restored a car before, and I learned a lot about trust in business and also just a huge life lesson. So when this car actually decided to do the restoration on it, I found a local family-run business that was a restoration company pretty much in the middle of nowhere, and I decided to entrust them with the car. With restorations, it's very hard to expect a budget. I had a budget in mind, however, I had to give it free rein. It needed a hell of a lot of work. It was a non-runner when I received it, and it needed a lot of work. So off it went to the restoration company. Unfortunately, and this is where over time and years of experience in life, you learn lots of life lessons, and this was one of them. So the story behind the restoration on this car is actually that it went over to the restoration company. I had a budget in mind for firstly to get the mechanical bits right, then over to actually have the paintwork sorted, as you saw earlier with a couple of pictures. So what actually happened with this car is it went away, 6-7 months went by, however long it was. And in essence, the car, I got a phone call from that restoration company, and I'm not here to name names, but I got a call from that restoration company and they said to me, car's all done and it's only X amount of money. So it was actually below what I expected. So I was like, cool, crack on, do the paintwork. I've saved up a little bit more, do the paintwork now and get it up and running. Stupidly, and that is naive of me, I didn't go test drive the car or take it away. I just trusted them that that was all sorted. Because it came in so much further under budget, I had budget then to do the paintwork. But when I actually went to go collect the car after a couple more months after they did the paintwork, what actually happened was I got in the car and I literally, from say here, I got to pretty much where the abath is and I broke down. And I'm a strong believer, and you would have heard me mention it if you've been in to see us, all about kind of, you never judge a person on the problem itself. You always judge people on how they deal with things. And I'm a strong believer in that. Every business, every person always will have problems in life, but it's all about how those people deal with it that really makes that character, and I'm a strong believer of that. So, saying that, I said, no worries, cool, have the car back, I'll come kick it up when it's done. It's an old car, it's gonna have problems, no worries at all. They had it for a few more months. I come back, and we did actually document this entire journey. However, we're not posting that video because I won't promote a company that I'm not happy with. So what happened was I went to go pick up the car again, and I probably got double the distance of the abath right now. And I was like, okay, what's going on? What happened when you test drove it? And anyway, they said, we don't test drive cars. It's not got an MOT or tax. And I was like, well, that's a little bit sad because I've traveled all this way. You should really be test driving these cars, especially as a restoration company. So anyway, long story short, I booked a trailer and we got it back here. Anyway, I kind of lost love with the car after that. It did look nice, the paintwork was done, it did look smart. However, I just lost love with it. It just sat in the workshop in the corner, and I just lost love with it. It's the only way to explain it. But I then, over probably another year or so, topped up a little bit of fuel, and we used to wash it and whatnot, and I topped up a little bit of fuel, and I got in one day and it started and it ran and it was absolutely fine. So I then sent it over to the team at Bartlett Automotive based in Huntington, which aren't too far from us, and I use them for a lot of my work, especially on BMW and Mercedes work. Anyway, so it went over to them, it cost £400, and the car is now up and running. So a massive shout out to the guys at Bartlett for getting this car sorted. But it now runs, it has a little bit more work before I get it through an MOT, but currently I still haven't driven it properly yet because it needs to get fully roadworthy. It's got a bit of exhaust work to do, but other than that, the car is looking absolutely mint. So the plan for this car is to, in essence, turn it into a classic car, demo car in the next couple of years. So what we're going to be doing with this car is be taking it to shows, events, and also if you have a classic car, I'm going to be doing a full OEM upgrade on this car. You're not going to see a thing, and that is what we specialize in, a full custom system with OEM look, and also I'll be able to showcase different systems within this car. So we've got a lot to get through today, so this whole video is all going to be segmented into sections. So if you want to focus on a specific car, you can do, just flick over, you can see the actual content all separated over different cars. Now moving over to the Mustang. So you would have seen this car at events, you might have already had demos in this car. So I've had this car now for 4 years, it's just about to go back. So this is actually a car that is leased through the business, and this is a massive investment for us because when our first demo car, and there is a YouTube video of it from a long time ago, but throughout having demo cars, I actually started off, and again, it was a huge investment at the time. It was having a investment of a VW Golf. It was a 1.6 diesel, and I did a very small system in it when I first started, and that was great. Sounded a lot better than stock. However, our clients were spending a little bit more than that at that time. So what I did, I stepped it up. So in that car, we went up to about a £7,000 system in the Golf, which was a huge step and a massive gamble for us because our clients at the time weren't kind of spending that kind of money. And it was a big gamble to kind of push the industry and also push ourselves to see what we could achieve with a car. So, and that was on the 1.6 Golf, and I absolutely loved that car. It was absolutely great. It was a 1.6 diesel, very reliable, and it was fantastic. And I had that car for about 3 years. And we had two systems within that time in that car. The entry level one, which was about £1.5 grand, and then we did the bigger system, which was about the 7K mark. So then it turned into, we were starting to then, after a little bit of time, started to do bigger systems. And that was actually when we moved into this site here, where we had a lot more space and a lot more flexibility when we were working on a car to carry out more work. We had a fabrication area being built and all sorts of different things. And the business was growing as well with our social media that we do, but also just with the level of work, repeat business, and also just the care and attention to detail that we were taking in comparison to some of our competitors. So getting time, we were like, we need to either change the system or change the car. And it was at that point in the business where I was like, I think we need to step a real gamble into more performance car market and also into that luxury high-end stuff. And also I didn't want to put a huge system in a 1.6 diesel Golf. It kind of didn't match. So what I've actually then did is then looked around, and choosing a demo car is an absolute pain in the ass. Reason is because every single person we need to cater for, whether they are big, small, tall, old, young, whatever they are, they're a client. They need to be able to have a car that they can sit in comfortably and listen to. So anyway, we ended up with the Mustang. So I've had this car now for 4 years, picked it up literally in March. It's due to go back roughly in about a week and a half. So this system that we put in here, if you've already had a demo to it, you've already heard it yourself if you've come by and followed us for a while. But this system had about a £25,000 system in it. So it was a custom-made pillars with the Alderson Thesis set in the front, Alderson Thesis 3-ways to the mid and mid-base in the door, OEM locations. Then we also had the rears, which are Hertz Mille Pro, 2 Hertz Mille Pro subs, and then 3 amps, which are the Alderson Thesis, and which is the normal Alderson Thesis. And then we had the 2 Alderson Voce amps and a processor in the system as well. So the car served us incredibly well. We did some massive systems on the back of this car because people could experience and value what we were doing in terms of the level of intricacy when we were actually working on a car and the attention to detail we were going to when installing, and this kind of showcased it for us. This went to events at places like the Sharnbrook, Essex Car Meets, loads of places it went to. And it's been absolutely fantastic. Really happy with this car. It's been absolutely incredible, and it's going to be sad to see it go. I mean, it's been a massive learning curve when we put the system in, and this was in March 24 years ago, 2021. So this was basically just as lockdown hit. So we actually built this car mostly during lockdown when we were allowed to come back to work and stuff like that. And yeah, it's been an absolute journey. Obviously, it did lose a lot of its time with the pandemic, but it's been absolutely phenomenal. I booked to do about 40,000 miles in this car. I've only done 20,000, mostly just to and from shows. But it's been absolutely incredible. Loved owning the car, and really going to be sad to see this one go, which should be in about a week or so. So we've got to take off the decals and bits and pieces. The car is actually already stripped and back to stock, and that's how easy it is. You literally can move kit from car to car. So that moves me very nicely on to the next car. So the kit from this has all moved, other than the rear speakers, over to the new demo car, the Range Rover Vogue. So this car has a little bit of a story as well. So one thing, I'm probably going to go between the two here. A couple of things I learned by having this as a demo car. So the previous demo car was a Golf. This demo car, for example, was absolutely fantastic. It was very comfortable. However, a little bit low for some clients, but also one issue that we had, and my biggest regret about it, and not really thinking it was kind of an oversight, but that happens in life and in business, a bit of an oversight. When people are coming to spec a system, they do come alone, but they also can come with a mate, they can come with family, they can come with their kids, they can come with parents or whoever they're bringing. A lot of people, when they're coming, is about that experience. They do bring friend, family, or whatever. So the problem with this car is obviously I need to be in that car to do the demonstration. So I'm sat in the driver's seat, the client is sat in the passenger seat. However, the partner, the extra person that is there, the family that are there, in essence have to stand outside the car, and it's just not great. Which in some ways it is, because they can hear how soundproofing works, because you can hardly hear it outside the car, and that's a real key thing about soundproofing. So it's quite a cool thing, and then they swap, because I want them to also experience how it sounds, because it's a really cool thing to experience. Actually, most people have never heard systems like this, so that was kind of a problem with the car, hence why we went for something a little bit bigger. So the Range Rover Vogue, we've done lots to this car. So for those of you who don't know, we've actually got 2 brands. So we've got Cambridge Car Audio, which solely focuses on sound and talks about sound alone, but I've also got CBS Automotive. So CBS Automotive as a brand has got its independent channel now, and some of the older videos on this channel are actually CBS videos, but CBS Automotive in essence covers full vehicle customization. The CBS Automotive brand, what they've done to this car so far is in essence the satin PPF, the detailing, the dash cam, the security on the vehicle, which is obviously a big part of this. So there's loads of security on the car, and also the Vossen wheels as well. So they're Vossen HF2s, which really set the car off as well. We've also got new tyres on the vehicle. They look absolutely mega, and we'll put a link to that tyre company in the description as well. But overall, absolutely over the moon with this car. The system in this car, the list is pretty damn long, but this has got a Thesis three-way front end, so a tweeter, a mid-range and a mid-bass. Then we've also got an 8-inch sub in an OEM look under the passenger floor, so completely hidden. We've got an 8-inch Alderson Prima sub there. We've got a 3-way Hertz Melee Legend rear set. We've got 2 Hertz Melee Pro subs, and then we've got 6 amplifiers in the system. One of them is the Alderson Thesis Venti, the £10,000 amplifier. Then we've got surrounding that 3 £4,000 Alderson amplifiers. Then we've got 2 £1,000 amplifiers. So in essence, plus the processor, roughly about £25,500 worth of amplification and processing in this car. This system, I haven't done the maths yet, but roughly, this is roughly about £100,000 worth of audio gone into the car. It's absolutely bonkers in this car. It sounds incredible. And we've done some spectacular systems, as you guys know, and you've seen on our channel, but this is absolutely next level. It is setting the bar, and that is what I'm all about. I never like to settle. I always like to have that next level up, testing our team, testing the company, breaking those boundaries in the industry, and no one has ever done a system like this in the way that we've done. The reason is because this car is completely hidden inside. The 6 amplifiers sit underneath the factory floor. The 2 subs take up 0 space. There is no space taken up in that boot at all. Width, height, nothing. Not a drop is taken up. The front end, we've got a front sub in the car, completely invisible. You cannot see a thing. It is absolutely bonkers. And we were so picky with everything we did on this car. And it looks absolutely stunning on the outside. And this will then, after roughly about a month or so, be ready for you guys to come listen to. Possibly people have already listened to it, and without tuning it sounds absolutely bonkers and blown people away. But when this car is finally done, it is going to be literally something else, and this will be then going to events. It will be going all over the place to high-end events where we're talking about audio, like home hi-fi events, but also car audio, as well as just car shows in general. So that is, we're probably going to do lots of other content on this car coming up on our channel. So make sure you have subscribed, guys, because there's going to be lots and lots of content, and we're actually going to be doing a little bit of a series. We've already filmed most of it throughout the duration, but then we've got to still film, once it's all finished, the final result of this car, because it is a huge project, and it's a huge investment for us as well. But I do strongly believe that this is going to take us to that next level because of how OEM it is. Plus, I'll be able to actually demonstrate in this car loads of different systems. So 8 different systems, different values, different setups will be able to be demonstrated in this one car. So this is in essence 8 demo cars in one with the way we've done it, which is absolutely bonkers. But that is the Range Rover Vogue. It's nearly there, and I cannot wait to demonstrate this at shows and get the reaction from when people actually sit in it and go through and listen to experience a ridiculous level of sound. So that is the Range Rover. So that is the new demo car, and in essence the main demo car with a big system in it. So when people want to listen to the best, they come here, and that is what they get to listen to. So that is the Range Rover. So moving on then from the Range Rover, we move over to the Nissan GT-R, which is actually a recent addition to the fleet, but won't be staying too long. So what is this car, and why on earth do we have it on the fleet? The Nissan GT-R actually has a little bit of a funny story to it. So the story behind this car is the fact that actually, and in life and in business, you always need a little bit of luck, and that is exactly what this was. God was looking down and smiled at me on my birthday when I actually won this car. So you would have heard of all these car competitions out there in the world, and this was actually from elite competitions. So what happened was, in essence, it was my birthday, and I was sat down, I was putting my little one to bed, and I was paying everyone off that I needed to pay off. And anyway, I hadn't bought much this month, and I thought, cool, doing all right this month, saved what I needed to save, and in essence was scrolling on Instagram as you do and came across one of these car competitions. I was like, no one ever wins those things, but it's a little bit of fun. So anyway, I put down £50. I put my phone on the side, and it was one of those instant win ones. I put my phone on the side, I was like, no one ever wins those things, chucked it down. And what actually happened was put the little one to bed, went back to my phone, and it came up with a win. Hence a Nissan GTR. So for 50 quid, we won a Nissan GTR. But the car itself, so they do offer like a cash alternative, decided to turn that down, mostly because with my situation with cars and having the facility that I do, I knew that I would be able to get a lot more for the car if it was all okay. So it's just been over to a performance car specialist that's just had a full health check over the car. It's had a full service, which it was due. It's just made absolutely inch perfect. It's also been detailed, and also it's just been checked over. Some of the interior had marks all over it. That's all been sorted. Literally getting a car to how it should be sold. So the car is actually now live on Auto Trader. So if you do want to buy it, it is there. I am willing to negotiate a little bit on the price because of the fact I didn't really pay for it. So that car is literally ready to go. I've sorted out all the paperwork, got all the stamps sorted, just made the car inch perfect, ready for its next owner, who's absolutely going to love it. It drives absolutely fantastic. I've driven it probably twice so far, and that's it. It's basically parked. I don't want to be putting mileage on the car. I don't need to, and it's just going to be sitting there until someone wants to buy the vehicle. So that is the Nissan GTR. So a little bit of a weird one. Hopefully that probably won't be staying too long, and that does get sold. So there's got a couple of cars here that will be disappearing. The Mustang will be going next week or so, whenever they want to collect it. And then obviously the GTR, whenever that is sold, that will go as well. So that is the GTR. Obviously nothing audio related is going to be done to that car. It's just stock. Someone already fitted a thinkware dash cam into it, but that is stock. There's nothing else going to be done to that car. It's got great tread on all the tires. The car looks now absolutely mega. Now it's had all the work done to it. So that is now ready to be sold. Then the daily driver currently, and I say currently because I do want to probably change this one in the future, but this is a BMW 520d diesel estate family wagon workhorse. I've had this car for probably, I think, 7-8 months now, and we always have to have a BMW on fleet. Reason is audio wise, you guys know if you follow our channel, we do a lot of BMW audio systems. So, and BMW audio is very different to the traditional car. This car also demonstrates exactly the same thing. It demonstrates audio system that we have in the same one that we had in the M5. Pretty much we changed over the amp to try something different, but overall absolutely fantastic. It's a daily runner. I do a lot of miles backwards and forwards all over the place, and it's motorway cruiser. It's fantastic. I have had a stage 1 remap done to the car, which is actually not normally something I do, but that is something that I did on this just to give it a bit more guts. We've done the satin black wrap on the car. Obviously it's got the level 4 audio system, so on the BMW packages on our website you can select, in essence you can come listen to this. This is one of the most common things we do on BMWs. So we've added the tweeter, 4-inch in the door, under seats are done, rears are done, and 10-inch active sub as an optional extra. Sounds really nice. It's obviously nowhere near what the Mustang used to sound like or the new Range sounds like, but there's just a different level. I mean, that's like a £5,000 system. It's just very, very different level to, say, the 100,000 that we've got in the Range. So these cars are pretty much always available to listen to. Obviously, moving forward, you're going to have the Range and the BM. This will probably be making its a change soon. I've got to wait a little bit of time because that was just absolutely ridiculous, that Range, for how long we spent on it, but it needed to be done, and it needs to be done perfectly. So obviously it's one of those things when you're working on your own car, it never gets the same amount of time allocated as a customer's one, but it is what it is. You have to balance. Obviously customers always come first, bills need to be paid. So this will eventually probably change, but it's a great example of doing BMW audio. People can come in, listen to it, and they can experience the sound of a BMW setup. And it sounds really, really nice. It's comfortable, and big fan of the car as a daily driver. And that's just a 2 litre diesel. So that's daily. Moving on then from the BMW, we move over to the little Abarth. This is quite a fun little one for us, and this is something that I'm building into the future. This car is actually looking probably 4 years in the future. So during lockdown, we obviously used to, pre-lockdown, we used to do installs at our site. However, during lockdown, we couldn't have clients come to us for the luxuries of a sound system, for example. So we completely changed our game, and we used to do, in essence, all our team are very, very highly skilled auto electrical engineers as well. We moved into actually servicing ambulances, electrics, as well as trucks and Arctics throughout lockdown. So we carried on working. We completely changed our business. We bought a couple of vans with the investment that we had saved up, ready. In essence, it was to replace the Mustang at the time. I was saving up money to, in essence, buy a performance car to replace that. However, things change in life and you've got to adapt. Luckily and very, very fortunately, we had the money in the reserve and we borrowed some money with the loans and whatnot to be able to change and adapt our business. So literally, I got rid of all the money that we had saved for the performance car, and what we actually ended up doing is buying 3 vans. The team were absolutely fantastic at the time to get through that difficult stage of a pandemic. Obviously, no one expects that sort of stuff, and in essence, we turned the lights off in our workshop and we turned into a completely different business. And I was then running the office in terms of getting everything organized and, in essence, setting up a whole new business that we just never done before. My dad, he'd done a little bit of the fleet commercial work before, so between me and him, the guidance of people that we found and knew, and also our team were just absolutely exceptional, and we basically changed our business completely, and now obviously we've gone back to normal. But part of that is also about having hire cars, and this is why this car is here. So this car, since I've bought it, I've had it probably 7-8 months, and this is part of a growing fleet that will join us. So with our clients, they travel all over the country, all over the world to us. We have currently 4 little Toyota Aygo X's, and they're absolutely fantastic, and they're great little cars. There's great little runarounds to get people home. They are brand new cars. We invest heavily into that, but we do lease them. And in essence, with the pandemic and the rising car prices and whatnot, they pretty much doubled in price from what we used to pay for hire cars. What I'm trying to do is the 3 vans that we had, I'm slowly going to be selling them off. So one's up for sale at the moment. And in essence, with that money, I'm then investing back into the company, and we're putting in new hire cars. So this car actually probably won't get used very much until those hire cars go back, because we've got mileage to use on them. And we're going to be we've done a couple of bits to the car. We made it a little bit sporty. We've done the Abarth writing on there. We've also done the Kenwood unit in the front. I will be doing a system in this car. I want to do a really entry-level system, just probably a front speakers and a sub, just so people can hear the difference that kind of makes, and obviously full soundproofing as well. But it will be quite a small little system in this. For now, people can listen to it, and then eventually I'm going to be turning all the hire cars into these in the next couple of years. So these are really cool, fun little cars. It's a Abarth 595. Quite a funky little car, and also I just love the color, and that is the Abarth. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed today's video. You've seen and I've gone through a wicked selection of cars, and it's an incredibly proud moment, but this is a lot of work and a lot of sacrifices need to be made to be able to have the collection that we do, and a lot of luck as well, like the Nissan GTR. But a lot of work goes into it, and for example, this week, to keep most of these cars nice and clean, I've been bombing around in a little Aygo to and from home. And this is the thing, it's not about, we're a small business, we're still growing, and with thanks to you guys at home for subscribing to our channel. Literally yesterday we just hit 10,000 followers on Instagram. We are a growing company. We have a massive ethos of reinvesting back into the company with our facility that we have here. I'm always trying to look for better ways, and there's huge plans for the workshop as well. So it's an 11,000 square foot workshop facility. We've got massive amounts of space around the site as well. We've got 2 brands. So the Cambridge Cardio brand is massively growing at the moment, and on an international level, which is pretty bonkers. And then the CBS Automotive brand is also growing with so many new services that we're offering, and you can go check out that website to see exactly what we do there. But in essence, it's the same team, just 2 different brands. Make sure you guys do check out all the other socials that we're on, TikTok, Instagram, you name it, we're on there. So thank you so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have enjoyed it. I'll see you on the next one.